do we actually have free will, or is it already planned out for us? Has the Creator, God, whatever you decide to call it, has it already set out things for us, and we just think we have free will?
Almighty push.
That's a question that's been in my mind for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Is your destiny already written out, or can you truly create your own destiny? Because when people talk about free will and talk about all that stuff, it sounds good, and of course, it makes sense to a certain degree. We got free will. We create our own paths and all that good stuff. But the actor in the movie that you're watching right there, that looks like he's making decisions. Someone wrote that movie. You know what I'm saying? Completely wrote that movie out, shot it out, and everything. And when you think that actor is improvising or whatever, you think he improvised that line or whatever it is, it could actually just be that somebody actually wrote the whole movie to make it seem like that. And the actor in the movie, if let's just assume, I don't know if you've seen that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he gets into it was like a movie where he was in a movie, like and in the movie he couldn't die type thing, right? And it was just like, I don't know what the name of that movie was, but it was something like that. In that scenario, he might think he's making his own decisions, but he was in the movie the whole time, right? And it's a similar thing with life right now. I'm like, do we really have free will?
Almighty push.
You know what I'm saying? When people talk about free will, when religions talk about free will, whether it be, Christianity or whatever it might be, do we really have free will, or is it already written that we just have to think we have free will? That improvisation we think, or we improvise and all that. It was written out that we were supposed to improvise at that time, or think we improvising, but everything kind of written out. Because I really do feel like when is your time is your time. But then again, it's also, I'm also in the mind of like, you create your own destiny, you create your own path, right? So I don't know which one is truly the case, but honestly, it's confusing. And truthfully about life, you don't know, like there's no blueprint to this thing. Like you going by someone else's experience doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be your experience. No matter how similar you all are, no matter, all that good stuff, it just doesn't mean that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Some people work hard as hell from the beginning of their life. Like really, there's a lot of hardworking people that you might see, but they might never make that money. They might do a little bit, there's a little progress, but they might not be as rich as somebody else that will just sneeze and make a bunch of money, or someone that was born with money and that kind of thing. Let me thinking like, yo, like, do we really have the power to create our own destiny? Like, or is it written that our destiny is already written out for us, and we just think we have the power to create our own destiny while it's already there? I don't know. It's a thought that's been going through my mind for a bit, and I'm just like, yo, like really, like what is it? You know what I mean? Like because I recently, have been going through a few things, and I'm one of them people that I really do believe both things. I don't know how, and that's kind of the duality of things. Humans are weird, there's a duality of life. You want to do good and yeah, you want to do bad. You like good stuff, you like bad stuff, you like this and like that. That's a duality to life. What I'm saying? Everything isn't as black and white. It's very gray. But you see, the thing about gray is it's made up of little particles of black and white. So it's like it's a little confusing at that. So I've been like thinking like when people talk about, oh, their destiny or their past or whatever, that they created their own past, could it be possible that it was already written that you will do that? You were just thinking that you were doing it by yourself, but it was already written out, planned out that that's how it's going to be. Like, as I said, religions and stuff, have this idea, that, God gave us free will, right? But at the same time, religions say God knows all things, right? Like he knows the beginning from the end, or he knows the end from the beginning. My bad, right? So it's like if he knows the end from the beginning, how much free will are we really making if he already knows exactly how it's going to go? I don't think it's free will if he already kind of set it in, and you think it's free will because you think you're making decisions. Just like I said about the movie. You know what I'm saying? You watching the movie, you seen the actor or whatever, your main character doing this and doing that. You're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But somebody wrote that in, like everything. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I'm thinking about things. It's just like, do we really have free will? Like it's a good question to ask. And as I said, my life, I've been, going through stuff, trying to create a path, So I was good when I was born and all that good stuff. I was good in the arts, right? Drawing comic books as a young, like, I mean, as a kid. in high school and all that. People love my comic books, all that good stuff, right? But as I kept going, I had to choose between the arts. By the way, I'm Nigerian, right? So I'm talking about when I was in Nigeria. So I had to choose between the arts, sciences, or social sciences. And of course, the arts in Nigeria wasn't making no money. Being an artist, like you ain't making no bread. So science, I've always thought about, how the human body, functions and how the mind, goes type thing, how the mind thinks. So of course, science made sense for me to go with that as opposed to my natural talents, right? But after graduating, college and all this good stuff with my biology degree and all this, I find myself more not really interested because I think I went to school. I do not think, I know I went to school more for just to what I just said, just to know how, the human body functions and stuff like that. I didn't see myself really practicing it, right? But I'm good with the arts. I'm good with drawing. I was a choir master, so I'm good with music. I'm just good with artistic stuff. I'm an actor now, so I'm really artistic stuff comes natural to me, comes easy to me, and I enjoy it. Not just that it comes natural, but I actually enjoy it. So now the question was, of course, I'm African, Nigerian, right? So my folks, of course, they, the typical idea, be a doctor, engineer, whatever it is, like a typical 9 to 5 job. Where, the thing is already structured, and that's kind of the idea they had for me, science and all that good stuff, But I didn't find joy in that stuff, like, per se, that practicing it, learning about it and having that knowledge, great, awesome. But to practice and live off of it, I couldn't see myself doing that. Now the arts, love it. That's the way, I want to go. But at the same time, it seems hard to live that life of like an artist, the struggling artist thing, you know, every day, struggling. Like when I'm doing the thing, when I'm involved in the, it might not be giving me money or anything. I'm happy. I'm doing it. It just when I'm doing it. But once I'm done doing it, like once I'm done making this video right now, then I gotta sit down and realize I ain't got no money. This video didn't bring me no money, nothing. All that good stuff. And it's like, yo, how do I sustain myself on my passion, what I love to do when it's not bringing no money in? As opposed to, going to the sciences or whatnot, right? And just dying every day, but making money. And I know everybody kind of goes through that idea. Everybody kind of has to make that decision in life. Do you go ahead and sacrifice what you love to do, what you think you're good at, what you think, your purpose is just to survive? Or do you, conform and just, do what you got to do, right? The idea, as they say, do what you got to do. Now, I'm split in between that. You never know, right? I'm just, for me personally, life is too short, right? I really believe life is too short just to be, messing around because you might pass on tomorrow. So you should always be doing what you love to do, regardless. But what if doing that thing you love to do is basically breaking you outside of doing the thing itself? Like you can't really sustain yourself, and that's kind of where I was last year, right? Had a job and all that good stuff, and all of a sudden everything just kind of crashed on me, and I was left with doing what I love to do. But doing what I love to do wasn't taking care of business. And I'm thinking, like, what is my purpose? Like, I was just stuck there thinking, like, what is my purpose? Because I'm good at this thing. I'm surrounded with people that think I'm really, people tell me, oh man, you're good at this and all that good stuff. I enjoy doing the thing myself before anybody would tell me, but I can't make a living off this thing. Like, and I really want to do this. I really want to do this. So why can't I create my own destiny? Why can't I create my own path out of this? Why is it so hard? And mind you, I'm just talking about last year. I've been doing this, struggling and fighting my way through for a while. But it just got so hard and everything. I'm like, yo, so I'm talking to the creator. I'm like, yo, like give me a sign. Let me know what's going on. I need to understand, like, why is it so hard for me to do this thing? You know what I'm saying? And I see some things I thought were signs, right? And I don't know if there were signs or not. You know how, like, we tend to kind of, when we're looking for something, we tend to kind of like, bottleneck things and just kind of, tunnel vision and close up to everything else. Maybe that's what happened. Then again, I thought I was pretty open. And I'm, going through all that just had me thinking, like, like, is it my purpose? Is it what I'm supposed to do? This artistic stuff because I'm good at it? Because I'm another person that believes like your talent, your passion, your talent is what you're supposed to do in life. That's what you're supposed to, there's a reason why you have that talent amongst all the other talents you could have, right? So I believe that that's what you're supposed to use to influence the world positively or leave your mark or whatever it might be. But then again, some people just like me will go through stuff. You have that talent and all that, and it wouldn't work. You end up having to kind of just to survive. You might end up having to conform yourself to doing a 9 to 5 or doing something else that you don't love to do, right? Just for the meantime. It might not even just be. I'm not just talking about maybe jobs and stuff. Maybe even with women, or what I mean is your relationships and all that good stuff. You like a certain type of person and all that good stuff, but that person, every time you get in a situation with people like that, things don't go as you plan, as you wanted to go. While when you get with people that's not exactly what you're looking for, things tend to be, okay, but you're not really in there. So it just comes down to that idea of, can we truly create our own path? Like, can we truly create our own destiny, or is it already written out for us? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really already kind of just planned out? And I'm just kind of stuck in between. I'm still trying to figure that out. Me personally, what I tell people, I honestly do believe that we can create our destiny. I just think that it might be so tough and so hard and so difficult that it might have to break your current life. You might have to completely sacrifice everything, just to create that new path. Because, to me, I feel like if a path was already, you think a path was already kind of written out for you or whatever, if a path was truly already written out for you and you're trying to create your own path, you basically have to become another person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of, not necessarily like you change yourself, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of the cosmos, I think if you want to create that destiny, and the destiny is written for Almighty, right? Destiny is written for Almighty, but Almighty doesn't want to go through the destiny that's written for Almighty. He might have to create Almighty point 2, right? Or Almighty 2.0. You know what I'm saying? And since he's creating that, all that Almighty had gone through, he has to kind of break all that down and start, his own. Because I do definitely believe that we are creators, right? I've always said this. We were created. This is my belief. If you don't know what my belief is, I'm a spiritual individual, right? God, personal, direct, relationship with God. Don't really need anybody else. This is just me. You know what I'm saying? God can talk to you directly. But I believe that we are literally how, your soul was created from a piece of the Creator. So, this makes you basically a clone or a part of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing, I believe this, every single thing that exists is a piece of the Creator, because there was nothing and then there's the Creator. And the Creator created everything out of, itself, right? Itself. So everything that came out of that has to be a piece of the Creator. And that's why I feel like all humans are connected. Not just humans, everything is connected. Everything that we can see, even the particles that we can't see, because we know there are particles there. So everything that's in existence in reality is connected. And that belief is kind of what I'm going with, because I feel like if you can tap in and connect with all those, all these particles, basically if you can tap in with that reality, you can create your own reality. But then again, as I said, I don't think it's easy, because from my experiences and from what I've heard from other people, it's not necessarily easy. Some people it's easy for, some people it's not. We don't know how this gets chosen. It's crazy. But this is what I believe. Mind you, everything is just my belief. This podcast is me sharing my thoughts. You can agree with it, you can disagree with it. I'm not here to try to convince anybody. If it resonates with you, if it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to convince nobody, and it is what it is. But I'm just kind of stuck in between that. Me, I'm gonna keep going with the create my own path type thing, as well as believing that we all do have a path, right? We might not know necessarily what that path is, and that's kind of how we just keep trying to create. Just believe that whatever you're doing is how you're supposed to do it, for the reason that you're thinking that I want to be different from whatever is existing around me is possibly how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's already written that you're going to believe that and do that. So everything for me, I feel like it kind of might all work together, kind of, sort of. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, as the actor in the movie, you know what I'm saying? It seems like you making decisions, but somebody wrote the whole movie, right? And the person knows the beginning, knows the end from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's I'm just in between that spot trying to figure that part out. But at the same time, I'm not putting too much thought into it because, as I said, what will happen will happen. I don't know if anybody has seen Final Destination, the movies, man, and I've seen that movie, and it's one of them things that kind of also puts in that what will happen, but you kind of just have to keep living your own life and whatever you believe, and for the reason that you even believe what you believe is written that you would believe that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a whole topsy-turvy, twisty. It's crazy. But this is really what I do think. It's humans are dual creatures. There's a duality to us. As I say, we want this and yet we don't want it. What I'm saying? Some people want to be good and yet want to do some bad stuff. It's just I think it's a duality thing. I don't think there's anything wrong about it. What I'm saying? It's just it is what it is. I don't have the answers. I don't know. I'm just talking, conversing, and anyone that's feeling the same way I feel or, in the same boat, well, welcome to the podcast. This is the Almighty Vibes podcast, where I'm gonna talk, share my thoughts about whatever and whenever. What I'm saying? I just share my thoughts. And if it resonates with you, it clicks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But all the same, share my thoughts, and it is what it is. Yep, it's the end of the episode anyway. I just kind of was thinking it's just a thing that's been going through my mind, and I just wanted to bring it, for whoever is going through what I'm going through mentally, thinking about stuff. I think deep. I think deep. I think, as I said, life is not just black and white; it's gray. But gray is made up of little particles of black and white, so it's still black and white. And that's kind of the whole duality thing too. It's not, but it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's just whichever one it is, whichever one works for you is the one I think you should go by. I don't think there's a one size fits all when it comes to life. It really is what works for you. Go with it. Like, honestly, you know what I mean? Because we've seen, as I've said, we've seen people work so hard, like really work hard. I'm Nigerian, right? So I've seen people work really hard, harder than a lot of people, but they might not make anything close to the money that somebody that just does something and just boom, either accidentally or just by their talent or whatever, and it's so crazy because someone might use their talent. Like I'm just saying, I use my talent. It might not work for me yet. Maybe it might work for me in the future. This is just so much. Like life is like beautiful chaos. It's just chaotic. It doesn't mean, there's no one size fits all. The only thing that truly works is, to be honest, whatever you believe, if it works, it works. Like I think that's ultimately what it is. Whatever you believe works for you, works for you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see a one size fits all. You know what I'm saying? I like even like how everybody kind of wants everybody to kind of go to one religion or all that. I feel like if everybody was the same, we'll be robots. And the creator set us in place just like this. The flavor of life is in the diversity of life, right? The different variations to everything. And the creator set it like this for a purpose, right? This is what I'm saying. There's no reason because at the end of the day, none of us chose to be here, but we here. There has to be a purpose. And if there's no purpose, then we here. You know what I'm saying? Either way, we are here and we got to make the best of it. And it just is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening. Or not listening, whatever. Subscribe if you made it up to this point. I'm going to, have some more. I'm trying to do this, if not every day, every other day, if not every other day, every week. If not every week, every month. One way or another, I'm going to be back on here and share my thoughts, and, it is what it is. So, yeah, stay mighty because we almighty. I'm out.
Almighty push. Almighty push.